could have prompted the migrants to Australia to leave behind the excitement of European civilization at the turn of the century? Why did they and their families choose to take up lives of primitive hardship in the Australian bush? Who were these people who were our last and perhaps our only genuine pioneers? Recently, I had the unique experience and good fortune to meet a man, a gentleman in the true sense of the word, who spent the first 25 years of his life as a pioneer. George Bellanger, now 82 years young, arrived here with his family, a French father, an English mother, and his 3 younger sisters, to take up a tract of land in the uninhabited district of Nornalip in Western Australia.
We're down holidaying in Denmark.
As George Belanger's story unfolded, I realized he wanted me to understand why his family came here, why they had chosen this remote forest country of Western Australia as their home. Your father made his first trip here in 1908, didn't he?
Yes, that's correct. He went out in 1908 with his brother Andre, was very satisfied with the area. He returned to Albany and consulted with Mother. They returned again to have a look at it a year later. That resulted in them going out, the whole family, in 1910. I was then approaching the age of 9. Father did tell us that we were going into absolutely new country, different from anything we had ever seen before, completely unsettled country.
George, what were your feelings as a 9-year-old boy when you first came down the river?
Well, absolute bewilderment, surprise that anything like this could exist. It was so strange, so beautiful, and completely unexpected. Father and I went up the river in a little boat to pick up one of the workmen who was at the homestead site, and another larger boat that we could use to transport the rest of the family.
Do you hear that? I'll be blowed, it's him. You think so? No other bugger would be daft enough to come out here. Even sounds like a Frenchman when he cooeys. Right, let's go and let him work it. Not to be Tuesday.
2 working, Vincent Savings, were employed by his father on the homestead to do. They had gone out earlier with father, almost a year before, to commence clearing the area where we would build a house. By the time we had arrived, they had cleared about an acre of land and built a small shanty which would house the family.
How are you, sir? George, we must go back before sunset in Pioneer.
This is still back at the beach, eh?
Mr. Benson, you will sail the yacht and take me in the small boat. George, you will stay here with Mr. Fagan.
Papa, I don't want to stay.
Alors, no, you rest. Come on, lad. You can share some of my roast stew around the campfire tonight.
I guess I was more frightened And I realised then, and for a long time afterwards, I just didn't want to stay the night with Father's workmen. It frightened me, and I wanted to stay close to my parents, and particularly my mother.
Where are you staying? Get ready, get ready! Huh? Oh, get in the boat.
What was your relationship with your father, George?
Well, I was really always on the alert with him because I never would quite work out how to take him. And for some little communication with him, it was difficult to know what mood he was in. And I had to adjust myself to those moods.
He was a moody man.
He was a very moody man, and sometimes it was mighty trying, I can tell you.
Mr. Bellanger, up forward. I should go in the other boat. That's faster? No. Get in here, up forward.
My family landed at the mouth of Walpole Inlet on the 10th of March 1910. Father had chartered a schooner out of Albany to bring us for 75 miles along the south coast to our new home. My mother and my sisters, along with our governess, stayed with our goods and supplies piled up on the beach.
Oh, dear. Oh, I can't manage it. Yes, you can. Too heavy. No, it's not. It's too awkward. Well, take off your cape, your skirt, your boots, and hoist up your skirt. Madame, Dorothy, don't give me any twaddle. Just do it. There's not a person for 14,000 miles who would care two pins for the size of your ankles. Now,
We had a very nice governess with us, a Miss Dorothy Reese. She was an orphan, but well educated and a very pleasant person. She was rather quiet and shy. Mother brought her out with us to help with all the domestic chores, but we really didn't think of her as a servant.
we must make a shelter for the children. Oh, that's not so bad, is it? Nearly there.
Must have known that they were choosing a life of quite daunting hardship. What drew them there, and Father in particular, was the really incredible beauty of the region.
and meet them. I'll look in at the
My
children.
mother was really a very enterprising person. And when darkness came on, and she began to realize that it might be some time before Father returned, she got the rims of what was going to be our water tank and made a small shelter to house the children overnight. At the same time, she kept the fire going and kept a sharp lookout for Father. She also lit the hurricane lamps and perched them up on boxes so that Father would know where to find her in the
You're
darkness.
back sooner than I expected. You must be so tired and so hungry.
Your son would not stay behind as arranged.
He probably thought that he could be a big help to me back here when we're loading up in the morning.
Your mother was a great diplomat.
My word, she was.
Yes.
And she handled that in various ways. If she couldn't get her way or bring persuasion on Father
It's all very
with words, well then she'd get to action in preparing and hustling us all together and get on with the work.
Mr. Benson, how are you?
Mrs. Bellanger, it's nice to meet you again.
And Pierre has introduced you to Miss Reese. Miss Reese, Mr. Charles Benson.
Delighted. We don't have many visitors. Well, none, in fact.
Yes, well, is dinner ready, my dear?
Yes? George, fetch the plates there for Mother. Is everybody ready for something to eat?
Yes. You cannot
Your
imagine.
father seems terribly particular about his meals.
Oh, yes, yes. He liked everything to be absolutely just so. And he got worse as he got older, too.
Shanty.
It is only for a little while, Winnie. We will clear the hillside, a beautiful view to the bend in the river, like the view from my father's estate in the Loire. A fitting house.
4 or 5 years hard work and you won't recognize the place.
You should clear 1 hectare per month. In 1 year is 12 hectares, more than enough for the chateau and the park.
Finish clearing. With big timber, we couldn't do better than 5 hectares inside the year, not counting the fencing.
You have cleared 5 hectares during the past year.
No, we've cleared round the shanty a bit, but that's all the actual clearing we've managed.
But I gave my instructions.
So you did. The fence block 293, fence block 371, and around the home block. All our time frittered away to keep open blocks of land that may never be cleared.
They will be cleared, I assure you.
Not by me, Mr. Bellanger. I'll be 6 feet underground before most of that timber is felled. Madame, thank you for dinner. Miss Reese,
Mr. Benson, will you not sleep by the fire?
thank you. But I've got my spag and I'll shelter down near the vaults.
George, I think it's time for bed. Dorothy? It's a long day tomorrow. Good night. It'll be a tight squeeze, George, but you can snack into blue.
There must have been many times, George, when your father questioned the decision to coming out here.
Oh, my word, yes. The word was demonstrated up in various ways, and particularly when the family were packed together and they would see us sitting around the table having our meals, and they would put his hands like this and say, "Oh, my dear, what have I done?"
But George, your father also realized what he was standing for. Your mother must have foreseen what her life would be like. Both your parents were well-educated and prosperous middle-class families. Your father had been a lawyer in Paris. And they were giving up comfortable, privileged lives to pursue your father's romantic visions of life in the Southern West. Your mother made an incredible decision to help your father displace all you people from Europe and bring you out here and start again with virtually nothing.
Yes, that would really be the case. Of course, father did want to get away, but it was difficult under the conditions of not having the means required to go make a move like that, but nevertheless had the courage to do it. For my baby sister, Maud. The trip from the mouth of the inlet up to the homestead took a couple of hours. Of course, time didn't mean as much then as it does nowadays. The whole quality of life was different because of the slow pace of things.
Personal belongings. All right? Dorothy, if you could take the children off and amuse them while the men are unloading, please. Yours? We're going to need you to help the men unload. Off you go. What do you want to say?
Right, lad. You hop into the boat down the stern end. You can pass us out to small parties.
What do you want to say? You want to
Just there. Under the chin.
Hello, Bevan.
But it's a terrible journey, Sir Andre. You said they were so.
And what about my poor arms? For 3 hours I've rowed across the inlet.
Oh, you poor dear. We just sat there while you worked so hard. And after making the same trip just yesterday.
This is our life. We are pioneers. Andre's departure time from Denmark was timed so that he would arrive at Norway at the same time as the family which was coming by boat.
Lulu! How are you, eh? Good?
Hello, Andre. Come over.
Did your Uncle Andre live here with your family?
No, he spent most of his time in Tujay because Father sold the original property to him up there, and therefore was Andre that spent greater part of his time there. But he would come down here to visit us, and, which we thoroughly enjoyed his visits, because he was really wonderful to us all.
So, we have beaten you here. And ours was the most arduous journey you can imagine.
Arduous. Arduous sailing a boat. If you could have seen the bush, impossible, I swear.
Ah oui, bien sûr, mais mon cadet. If you could have seen the waves on the bay.
A short journey of 10 kilometers.
Whose ordeal was the greater, whether by land or by sea? Really, Pierre?
Il se moque de moi.
Oh, you two. I think you invent reasons to argue. Now we must unload quickly. There's so much to do.
Your horse would make a sight more easier work of that hill than my poor legs. We could make a sled out of that packing crate.
Excellent. Andre, you cut some runners from that tree over there. Mr. Benson, Mr. Fagan, you make the sled. George, bring me the harness from the brown case. Andre, unsaddle your horse.
Dorothy and I can do that. You get on with the pole. Go.
They don't seem to be getting on very well for Bruggle.
brotherly sparring?
Part of the sparring, yes. Although having said that they were the best of enemies, I think there was a great deal more of the best than there was of the enemy when it came down to real Australian trained intacts.
Quickly, we must get on before the dark. The sun keeps setting.
The poor beast has been carrying my pack for 3 days.
Oh, more. We must have more in the cart. Quickly. A full load. Bring the hat box as well. Come along. Hello. Allez, Méchant, alors. Where are Mr. Fagan and Mr. Benson?
They say they have finished their work for the day.
Well?
I'm afraid, Pierre, if you wish to sleep tonight, you must help.
Oh, take this to the tent.
In every way, she was very loving and gave much more of herself to us children than my father ever did. I would have done anything for her.
The soil that nurtured these giants of the forest will grow anything. We will chop them down. Several hectares to begin for our vegetable gardens. Our clearing has begun.
My father took up 4,000 acres of Northern, which was really too much in that type of country. The 4,000 acres was split up into a number of blocks. We were obliged, under the government purchase scheme, to make some improvements such as clearing and fencing on each of these blocks every year.
Why are they taking so long?
You hear that? Hey? You want 3 more of these down before lunch. It's about to go. Stand back!
We can burn the trunk.
No way.
Eh?
Tingle don't burn. Not green, anyway.
A tree that won't burn?
Too right.
Australian hardwoods. Have to split them in half. Dry them out first.
What a tremendous task it must have been, George. What procedure did you use to clear the land? Exactly.
Well, our first thing to do was to cut down all the scrub right down to the ground and let it dry for a while and then burn it. Then we would have to tackle the logs on the ground.
How did you burn such an enormous log?
For a little while we had to let it dry, and then we used explosives to break it open.
What sort of explosives did you use?
Dynamite and gunpowder. In spitting the sound that gunpowder is better than dynamite. Dynamite seems to sputter so much. So if you use gunpowder, it's open it out properly.
reckon the charges at the far end didn't ignore. Impossible. Impossible, I see.
Cutting down these trees with a fork up there, picking them up, piling them up with grass and sticks, and waiting for them to dry so that you could burn them was a back-breaking and very slow process. Fortunately, we hit upon the method of wind-barking the huge cottage trees. The cut through the sapwood killed off the upper branches but left the trunk standing. This meant that we could use the paddock sooner, as we had less of the big timber to clear.
What did you think of these trees today?
They had been brilliant, and it had taken all this time to kill them. They are dead. Very dead. Not like the home paddock. That was quicker, but there are suckers all over the stumps now.
Because you're getting them.
You'll make a good bushman yet, George.
Now and again, the family would come out and assist in the clearing process. They'd pick up sticks and small pieces of branches for climbing round the log and on the bases of trees which had to be burnt down. Of course, a great part of this was that the family really enjoyed these activities. The operation of clearing and burning down the big trees was something that we youngsters enjoyed a great deal. To be outside in the dark with these fires burning all around us was very exciting.
It won't stay burning, not without smoking anyway.
Exactly. We will sit behind and do it. Mr. Benson will return later with some food from Madame. Everybody else, we go.
Over a period of time, Mrs. Governess and Charlie Benson, father's Swedish welcome, became fascinated with each other and fell in love. It was the first love affair that I had ever witnessed, and I was intrigued by their behavior.
And I said you could help yourself to a book. Have your favorite today? Grammar. Now, if you'd like to start from the top of the page and work down to the bottom. Here. Mr. Smith will be here by noon, dear.
Oh, oui, Mr. J.B. Smith, the most expensive starter only on Super Big.
The checks need to be made out to posting, Mr. Smith.
J.B.
The man is in imagination like a madman.
Really?
Monty must passé.
Don't you remember you asked for it? You and Andre had it the last time he was down.
What's this? One sack of cornflour. Is cornflour not good enough? Anthony, what cornflour?
You, the one who complained that the sauce was really lumpy and flour, couldn't I cook a proper bechamel sauce in there? If you want a bechamel without lumps, you'll have to pay for the proper flour.
Out of the way. Quickly.
Money was all around the problem first. Father came to Australia for £6,000. Quite a fortune in those days. But not enough for an enterprise in a remote place like Nornbrook.
I suppose on the major cost would have been the cartage of supplies, didn't you?
Oh, that was. It was really pretty heavy. The fees paid to the carter to bring out all of the various supplies that we required. Father decided that the way around this expense would be to buy a horse. We already had a cart, so the purchase of a suitable horse, a semi-draft horse called Nugget, was organized to a friend of Father's in Teagan.
Dependable. Don't you think our friend Clapton has given us a good horse, eh? I knew you could get him out behind such an horse. This animal signifies our new freedom. Never again will we have to pay to cut our goods. Never again will we have to carry our heavy tools through the paddock. Nugget is a noble beast of burden. Elliot. Elliot? Yes, check the bridle. Perhaps there is something wrong. Open the car. Elliot? Avance it. Mr. Benson, leave the off. Elliot, forward! Elliot! Will you start? Forward! Écoute, you will not defy me. I am much cleverer than you. Get some leaves, some dry leaves. Je suis Pierre Alphonse Bellanger. Personne ne me résiste jamais. Allez. Put them down there. Stand back. Now, we will see her go.
They've been digging in the garden since noon.
Oh, oui, but that digging will mean nothing. It's the best to get our vegetables first.
You have a solution?
Exactement. I am doing the work of the brain first, and the work of the muscle follow. Not the other way around.
The real test for us is birds, not insects.
Christopher! On le met là.
Father's mechanical spirit was designed to catch the wind in such a way that the calls in Pink's hand would kept making a banging noise like a shotgun and scare the parrots away from the vegetable plant.
Well, having a vegetable garden is a great necessity, isn't it?
I'm with you. There's plenty of game and fish and ducks and swans. And of course, we had no vegetables at all. And that was Father's pride and joy, apart from being work as a hobby of his, to have a really good vegetable garden and think of everything that was possible to plant he planted, and to came to a point when no one was allowed to go near it, even Mother, when she come forward to cut something good, and that's my best, you can't have that one.
The pure stories is salt. A wings flapping, fin clanging, gyrating, and self-steering scarecrow. Now, other people's shekels just stands there, does nothing, but ours goes,
The part is good.
Gradually, over a period of years, the house was finished, and we started to live a more comfortable life. It could never have been anything like the life my parents had in Europe, but it was pleasant and cheerful.
Let us live within cycles, because
My mother made the best of everything.
Christ our
She could cook kangaroos so well that we thought we were eating baby beef in a French restaurant.
Amen.
the Lord may provide, but Madame Bellanger is required to cook it superbly.
During those years, it was always a battle just to survive at Morland. So any little diversion is a great joy to us. When we don't have much, I guess we treasure it all the more.
Got the record, sir? Which record do you want to hear? The new record one? Yes, this one.
I admired my mother tremendously. She accepted her life out there in Australia and coped with every hardship with cheerfulness and good humour. She was one of those truly remarkable women who put other people's needs before her own and who got pleasure from helping others. My father was a very difficult man, but my mother seemed to understand him.
An evening stroll through your dominion, Squire.
A new squire? The Count of Nonalop, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
The love and affection between my parents must have been very deep, and it could only have been that which held them together all those years in about the hardest time that anybody could have ever experienced. It was a very unusual step for my father to come to Australia. Partly he came because of his health. He had suffered from asthma from the age of 18, but he was also disillusioned with European civilization. And he thought there was a better opportunity of living a happy life in Australia. In fact, Australia, at least our small corner of it, seemed like an earthly paradise to my father. My father was a man who always commanded respect, but not much love in people. The only real exceptions were my mother and my sister Lulu. Father showed much more of himself to Lulu and was far more caring of her because of her disability. She had injured her leg as a young child and had to use crutches until she was in her late teens. Were the fishermen in the bay. We could go out in the river and catch a few days' supply of blackfin in an hour. I don't really know to what degree Father communicated with Lulu. Perhaps everything for them was just being together. There seemed to be some bond that developed between them. I was never able to communicate with my father, and it was very galling to me because I wanted to communicate with people, to know about lives that were different from ours.
How would I know? They're Australians.
I can remember looking to the range of hills to the north of us and thinking, beyond those hills, there are other people, and I can't get to them. I felt stuck in that spot.
You were supposed to be here yesterday. It's the use of a midwife who comes for the christening, huh?
Will you be able to get to Thompson's tonight?
I'm not. Go to my wife.
Mr. Bellanger, what do I do?
Pick it up. Bite the cord. Wash the side. Wash madame. Give her the baby. If it is necessary.
The midwife who was supposed to come was delayed. The father had to go down the river and across the inlet to get Mrs. Thompson. The Thompsons had moved into the district about a year after we came to Norma.
He'll know what to do. Don't worry, I've done this before. I'll fetch you some more water, will you? Were you aware of what was happening in the next room?
No, I wasn't. I was not apprehensive of what was going on, but I wasn't aware of what it was. People of my parents' generation were reluctant to tell their children about the facts of life. My mother may have talked to the girls a bit, but my father never. I was completely ignorant.
How is she?
All right, sir, but I think it's very close now. Through here?
I'll be outside if anything happens.
Mrs. Bellanger, thank you for coming. It's very right. I'm very glad to help out. Now, let's see what to do. Let's do some of the complexion. Hold my hand. And kiss. When did you begin? About 11 o'clock. Have you got plenty of water heaters? Yes, ma'am. And the towels are all set out over here. Good. 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 And push again.
And which of the children brought it to the phone that night?
This was my brother Ted. He was quite a while older when we got 2-3 years old, and began to take charge of everybody and everything, including father. And he ultimately inherited the property and did very well as a farmer, and then handed it on to his son Vaughan, which is the position now.
This afternoon, after breakfast, when every single spoonful has gone in. George, you too. When you've all finished, we can go and see Mummy, and the new baby brother will talk about you. Frank, Pierre, Edward, Bellanger. And your brother for all of you.
However much I loved my mother and felt for the hardships that she had to endure in her life, I realized that I
Bellanger did leave Munich and didn't return for 23 years, just in time for his father's death in 1945. Special permission was obtained from the authorities to bury Pierre Bellanger on the hillside overlooking his beloved Frankland River. Although he was a failure as a farmer, it was Pierre's vision of Nornolip as an earthly paradise which ultimately triumphed. The entire region was declared a national park, and its great beauty preserved for all time in much the state the Bellanger family had